Hey there YouTube, I got a 2024 Nissan Titan Pro4X. I've had it for 6 months now, 6,300 miles so far. I've done quite a bit with it in the last 6 months, and I thought I would do a review to kind of talk about what it's been like owning this truck. And maybe if you're watching this, you're probably wondering, what's it like? Is it a piece of junk? Is Nissan just going to unload these things on the consumer? And if I buy one, even though they've got some good deals on them right now, since it's the last model year, am I going to have problems with it? How does it compare to other trucks that are out there? So that's kind of why I'm making this video. So I'm going to tell you some stuff about my experience over the last 6 months, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, mention any problems I've had, and then just give you a quick tour of it so you can kind of help make that decision for yourself. All right, here's the Moroni, the window sticker. You could pause this and zoom in and see all the options on this truck. Trust me, it's got everything. It's one of the reasons I was considering a Nissan Titan to begin with. The technology package on them, for what you get for the money, is a lot more than the competition. So what did this thing cost? Well, it was $65,465. I did not pay that much for it. In fact, I wouldn't have paid that much for it. I would have got a used truck instead of paying that much for any truck. I got it for $55,000 plus tax and whatnot. I think $55,000 was a pretty fair price considering the market right now and considering all the stuff that you get for that price with this truck. It's about the end of June, getting close to it anyways. I'm in Middle Tennessee. It's hot as heck right now. I got a whole list of stuff I wrote down to tell you about this thing. So let me just go through it as quickly as I can so I can get back into the air conditioning. All right, so first off, what has broken in 6 months? Pretty short list because nothing is broken. This truck has been very reliable, very comfortable. I've had no issues with it. There's going to be some things I don't like about it that I'll tell you, but I've had absolutely no problems whatsoever. Taken some really long road trips, driven it 10 hours in a day. I tow a camper. It's about 3,400 pounds when it's fully loaded. It tows wonderfully. In fact, I just got back from a 500-mile camping trip where I towed it 500 miles, and it's had no problems whatsoever in doing truck stuff. I've used the bed to haul some lumber, some furniture, different things like that. No problems. It's really been, now it's only 6 months, but it's been a great, reliable truck with 0 problems in 6 months. Some problems that other people have had are leaky sunroofs. No leaks in my sunroof, not at all. Some people have had leaky rear windows. No leaks there either. The rear defroster mechanism, some people have had that pop off. It's a soldered little connection. I have not had that issue at all. And then you may be familiar with an engine issue, a cylinder 7 issue on the previous Nissan Titans. I think that was only from 2017 to 2019. I've had not any problems with that at all. The engine is great. And it's a regular V8 engine, no turbos, no hybrid stuff. It's a pretty straightforward, reliable engine that they've had for years that just performs really well. All right, talking about the things I like about it. The reason I chose this truck really comes down to the ergonomics. I'm going to tell you a bunch of ergonomic things that I like quite a bit about it. The primary reason I got it, or the primary reason that it was on at the top of my list of trucks to get, was how these rear seats fold down to give you a flat load floor. The base of the seats simply lift up and snap in place. And then you've got this little thing down here. What's this all about? Well, it folds open to give you a flat load floor. So why do I care so much about a flat load floor? Well, it's relatively low to the ground, makes a very easy entry point, and it's ideal for hauling your dog around. A lot of times the seats in the back are sort of slanted. I don't think it's very comfortable for a dog, and I'm one of those guys that considers my dog first and foremost when I buy any vehicle. So this has made it really good for taking my dog around. I've got a cover that goes in there because he sheds quite a bit, and that protects everything. But you can see it's nice and wide and flat. These little bits of duct tape, there's holes there, I think, so you could easily lift this part up and down. I just covered that up so his paw doesn't go through those holes. And I think the reason it's like that is because this opens up and you've got storage in here as well. Lockable storage, which is even nicer. And then you got some more here too. So there's lots of ergonomic features of this back seat that are great. Nice and flat. You could even tuck some things under here when you get your dog in. And then, like I said, these seats just open and close like that. And even behind here, you've got more storage behind the seats as well if you need it. So I think as far as back seats go, this is the best back seat of any full-size truck on the market right now. I couldn't be happier with it for that reason specifically. While I'm back here just speaking about rear seat comfort, got heated seats in the back, which is really cool. Vents in the back so I can keep my dog nice and cool in the summertime when I got the air conditioner blowing. And then you've got two USB, an AC socket, and a regular cigarette lighter socket as well. So quite a bit of functionality right in the back seat. Center armrest folds down in the back, so you've got two cup holders there, as well as access to those two cup holders that are in the rear part of the center console. Staying with ergonomics for a second, these front seats are also very, very comfortable. They're probably on the flat side compared to what you might have like in a smaller car or something like that, but they're really comfortable for a guy my size. I'm very, very comfortable in these seats on a very long trip. Not fatiguing at all. Another neat thing is this center console. These bits here are all modular. So they come out and you could arrange them in different configurations. Same with the cup holders. These come out as well. So you got more storage underneath there. And then, of course, it has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The USB connection there, it just gets routed underneath. So when your phone sits, it sits right in this little stand here. And it makes it nice without a bunch of wires dangling everywhere. Center console opens up. It's got a really deep pocket. There's a cigarette lighter charger in there as well. And that tray, so lots of storage there. Door bins are massive. You can see how many bottles of water I got in there. There's some additional little pockets on the side of the center console. And then of course you got your sunglass holder in the ceiling. So lots of place to store stuff. In terms of ergonomics, gets very high marks for me. In terms of comfort, I love the fact that I got both heated and cooled seats. Turn it to the right to make the seats hot. Turn it to the left to make the seats cold. Got that on both driver and passenger. Very nice. Last thing on comfort is the sunroof. It's got a really big sunroof that goes from the front seat all the way to the back seat. The front part of it opens, which is pretty cool. And of course, you got a shade if you want to close it when it's super hot out like it is today. That makes things a bit more comfortable. Next things I like about this truck are the utility features. So you got the trailer brake controller as standard, as you would expect on a full-size truck, but it works really well. You also have tow mode. If you press in the end of the drive selector, it basically adjusts how the transmission shifts so you don't overdo your brakes if you're going down a hill. And then you've also got a manual gear change up or down once you're in tow mode. It's pretty good. The rear camera has a wheel trajectory, so if you're trying to back up into a trailer, you can see how your wheels are turning and where you're going. Makes it very easy to connect. Hitch is held up well. I've probably done about 5 or 6 towing trips so far. Got your electrical connections as well. So towing has been really good with this truck. Sticking with utility for a minute, let's talk about the bed. I've got this back flip cover on. This did not come with the truck. It's really the only thing I've purchased extra since I've had it. I really couldn't be happier with this. It does a great job of keeping the water out. I just washed this truck before making this video and you can see there is no water in here at all. It seals really nice and it makes it very easy to open and close with these little controls here. And you could open and close as much as you want. So that's kind of not the purpose of this video, but I just thought I'd mention it's a really great cover. In terms of the bed, comes pre-bed lined, which is great. You got this utility track system with anchors that slide back and forth along those rails. Makes it really easy to tie stuff down. Behind that bag of topsoil, there's a tie down there. There's another tie down in that corner as well. And then you've got tie downs on these corners here as well. There's lights in the bed. Can't quite see them, but they're right underneath that rail on both sides. So it lights up very nice at night. And then you've got power here as well, which is a switch in on the dashboard to control the AC outlet back here. Pretty good. The tailgate itself is sturdy. Plastic but sturdy. I'm going to come back to that plastic in a minute. And then you got a little step here. You just push this out. Makes it very easy to step up and in to get inside as you need. I don't know what he's doing. Strange dog. There used to be a handle here that you'd be able to hold on to grab and pull yourself into the bed. When I put the tonneau cover on, this part had to go over top of that, so that handle doesn't fit anymore. I still have it, I just can't use it now. The four-wheel drive works really good on this truck. I've only used it a handful of times. When I get out west where there's more opportunity to do some four-wheeling, I'll use it more. But it's very simple. You got 4 high and 4 low. And then over here you've got a rear locker and hill descent control. When you go into four-wheel drive, you've got that indicator on the bottom right to show, but then you've also got this off-road screen that shows your angle, your pitch, I guess you would call it, your rolling pitch by degrees. And then it also shows where the power is going. So you can see now I'm in 4 high, so it's distributing power to all 4 wheels simultaneously. To go to 4 low, you just push it in and turn it to 4 low. And then the screen updates as well. And then once you're in 4 low, you can initiate the rear locker. So I just pressed that. You can see that white bubble that's there. That shows that the rear locker is engaged. While I'm talking about this screen, it's another thing I like quite a bit. There's all these different views. You got auxiliary gauges, more auxiliary gauges. You got your driving distance. Something to point out here is the miles per gallon. Let me just stop on that for a second. So I just towed my camper 500 miles. I just got back yesterday, and I averaged 12.4 miles per gallon on that drive. You could see on the way back it was 205 miles, and I was driving for 4 hours and 13 minutes. That's really good gas mileage. Towing anything tall, it's a almost 11-foot tall camper. It's like a big sail against the wind, and it does really well with economy. Got some more screens. This will measure your fuel economy in real time as you're driving. You got your compass, speed limit, if it recognizes the signs, all these different driving aids. The lane alerts, I've got that turned off, but you can have it set so it beeps and then vibrates the steering wheel if you drive outside of your lane. I live way out in the country, so you're always outside your lane here. It was getting on my nerves. But the blind spot and the forward alerts are pretty helpful. You got your tire pressure. I'm in park, you can't see that right now. And then your warnings because my doors are open in the back. And then you got all your different settings. There's quite a bit of settings in here. You can kind of scroll through and see all the different stuff you could do. So pretty slick, lots of different options in this center screen. Speaking of miles per gallon, you could see my best was 23 miles per gallon. That's incredible for a V8 full-size truck. I don't get that very often. Well, I've only got it once, but I generally average between 21 and 22 miles per gallon. I live out in the country. I know when I'm in the city and I'm driving, it's closer to like 17 miles per gallon. But even if this is optimistic, you know, the manufacturer's ratings of this is usually a bit higher than it is in reality. Anything over 20 miles per gallon on a truck this size is exceptionally good. And it's not a hybrid. It's just a straight V8. That's really exceptional. All right, talking a bit more about the technology. Stuff I like, and we're still on the stuff I like. I got a long way to go to finish up this list here. The head unit, whatever you want to call the entertainment screen, I don't know. I don't even know what you call these things these days. I've had 0 problems with it. I know previous Titans have had connectivity issues where it'll automatically disconnect from Android Auto or something like that. That's never disconnected for me at all, not once. It's never been unresponsive. It's never frozen. The touch sensitivity works really well. I like all that. I've got no issues with this screen whatsoever. On top of that, you've got one USB-C port for your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, but then you've got another USB port that you could use just for audio. So I've got a little flash drive in there. I've got a bunch of music loaded up on it. So you could select from all your different audio sources. It's not as common as you'd think to be able to be navigating with Android Auto, but maybe not want to listen to the music that's on your phone. So you could be using Android Auto for all your other stuff and still play music from that USB 2 port that shows here. Pretty good. Speaking of the audio, I've got the Fender speaker system. It's like the upgraded audio system. I forget how many speakers are in this thing. It could be 12 speakers or something. I don't know. You got your tweeters up there. You got your mid-range down there. There's a subwoofer under the seat. And then you got a similar setup in the back. It's good. I would say for a factory system, it's It's above average. Is it the best audio system I've ever heard? Probably not, but I have no intention of replacing it. It's definitely better than what I had in my 4Runner, so I'm happy with that. All right, the maps. Every car nowadays, almost, so many, let's just say that, so many cars these days, they give you a navigation system but expect you to subscribe to it. It's completely free on the Titan. I know, like the Toyota Tundra, you got to pay something per month to get its mapping system. Does anybody use these nowadays? Not as often. I mean, most people would just use Google Maps, and that's what I use most often too. However, I really like having an updated free navigation system in this truck for the places where I go that there's no reception. If my Google Maps doesn't work and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I could still find where I need to go using this 100% satellite-based navigation system that's free, and it works well. I'm very happy with it. Let's talk about the camera for a second. Is this the best camera in the industry? No, not by a long shot. But it is clear enough to see what's around you, and especially in the daytime. At night, it's quite a bit grainy, a bit more difficult to see, but it's better than what I had before in my 4Runner, so I'm quite happy with it. It's also got more views. So right now you're seeing the front camera because the view over the hood is pretty difficult. If you're coming up on a trail or somewhere where you need to make sure you're not going to run into something, it's nice to be able to have this view to see what's in front. And then of course you got your top-down view. If you press this button again, it shows the passenger wheel view as well. So that's kind of helpful if you're parking against the curb or you're off-roading and you can't see out your passenger window to see if you're approaching a rock or who knows what. So not the best looking camera, but quite a good functional camera. All right, one more technology thing I got to mention that I really like, and that's the app that comes with the truck. It gives you all the basic functions. You could start the engine, stop the engine, light the lights, honk the horn. You can see your tire pressure, your odometer, all that stuff. You could even see where the truck is located on a map. So if somebody steals it, you could use this app to navigate your way back to the truck itself. That's all really cool stuff. It gives you all the maintenance things. It tells you when your next maintenance is due. It lets you connect right to the dealership from the app to schedule an appointment on their calendar so you can see when they've got availability. It's got all the support stuff. You could chat with Nissan if you want to. It's got a link to the instruction manual, so if you don't want to dig out the book from the glove box, you've got it all right here. This app is really cool, and it's free for a year. After that, you got to pay for it. I think it's like $100 a year or something. I don't remember exactly. I guess that's kind of a lot of money, but it's something I like having. I wouldn't hesitate to pay $100 a year for this app because it's pretty slick. I like it. This video is taking longer than I expected, but that does cover all the stuff on my list that I like about it. Let me tell you about the stuff that I don't like. The things I don't like can pretty much be summed up with one word: plastic. This is plastic, and it's not a plastic cover. It is literally a piece of plastic. It's hollow underneath this. So I've had trucks in the past that had an all metal tailgate with a plastic like bed liner kind of thing on top of it. That's not it. This is just plastic. You could put a screwdriver through this if you really tried. I don't like that. It's just not good. Speaking of more plastic, this is plastic. The whole bumper is plastic, everything. I guess I expected a full-size truck, a work truck of sorts. I mean, is this a work truck? Let's be realistic. No, not really, but it could be a work truck for some people. I would expect it to have a metal bumper. And it feels like plastic. When you step up on this, it feels like you're stepping on plastic. And it's one of the ways that they save some money, though. This list of things that I don't like are going to come down to cost-saving measures by Nissan. It's the reason why they can make this truck as inexpensive as it is, because of the ways that they're saving some money. Mud flaps. Who cares about mud flaps, right? Is this a nitpicky thing? Yeah, it's nitpicky. But I don't like the fact that this is a sticker. It's literally a sticker I could peel off with my fingernail. That's cheap. It shouldn't be a sticker. It should be something that's painted on. It should be an embossed logo that's painted, not stuck on. The front bumper is metal, but it's painted metal, and it chips. There's a chip there, chip there, chip there, chip there. I don't know if this is dust. I don't know if you could see these chips on camera or not, but they're small, they're minor. But I've looked at pictures of people that have had theirs for a couple years, and those little chips start small like that, and this paint just flakes right off. They use the really, really inexpensive, cheap paint for this front bumper. Same thing goes for this skid plate. I mean, it's a skid plate, it's gonna get scratched up, right? But it's painted. This silvery color is not the metal, that's just some sort of silver paint they put on, and it's getting chipped up as well. all that's going to spread. Okay, again, I'm being nitpicky. Look at the bottom left and bottom right running lights to the left and the right of those front tow hooks. The bumper on the left is about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch tighter than the bumper on the right, the gap. Look at the bumper to the lights. I know I'm being a bit fussy here, but that just goes to show that there's a quality control issue with the way these things are assembled. This is not a one-off. If you go online and you do some searching, there's several other people who have had the same problem with the same series of Titans. For whatever reason, when they assemble it, the bumpers just aren't on straight. And you'd never notice it if I didn't point it out to you. I didn't see it for the first few months, but I see it now, and now I can never unsee it. Speaking of scratches and nicks, the door panels inside here scratch like crazy. That's just from my dog, but my dog's been in a million cars. He's never scratched anything. I could scratch this with my fingernail if I wanted to. And that's the same with all the interior plastics. This is hard plastic here. You got your soft touch stuff everywhere else. This like fake leather material, it's nice and soft and comfortable to touch, but it's also very thin. If I push with my fingernail, I could push it right through this. I guarantee you I could. So the wear and tear of these interior pieces, I don't think is going to hold up very long after a couple years. I bought the truck in December, like I mentioned before. These trim pieces here, because the weather was cold, the adhesive that holds these on loosened up. And this trim piece was flopping around. Every time I would open and close the door, it'd flop around. So I looked underneath it. This is just held on with double-sided tape. It's not engineered in any way. It's just a piece of stuff, a decorative thing that Nissan put on with double-sided tape. That shouldn't be the way to engineer a kick panel, is pretty much what that's supposed to be. It should be put on with something a bit more, I don't know, professional than double-sided tape. The glass or plastic of this screen scratches like crazy. I got a clear protector for it, like a phone protector almost, that I put on. But I had it for about a month or so, and there's a couple of small scratches that already formed before I put this on. It's not going to get any worse now. You probably can't see it from the camera here, but if you do any research on it, this is a big deal, because just from normal hand touching it, you know, not putting a set of keys across it or anything, just by using it like normal, dragging your finger across it, it scratches really bad. So that's also a bit of cheapness they put into these. A lot of these switches, look at that. I mean, again, I'm being fussy, but this is not engineered well. I could just very easily break this switch if I'm not careful when I'm using it. And that's kind of the same thing with some of the other switches. The stuff on the dash maybe aren't quite as bad, but a lot of these things that you don't use very often, but you do touch them from time to time, they're not made very well. This A-pillar, I don't know what you call it on a truck. The thing that goes between the front and rear doors right here, it vibrates. And it's not like from driving down the road vibration, it's vibration from just like even what you're listening to on the radio. I could be listening to a podcast where it's just somebody talking at a normal level, and because my ear is right here, I'll hear that vibration coming through this. It just goes to show like this is just squishier than it should be. A lot of this stuff is just not very well engineered on the interior. All right, last thing I'm going to mention that I don't like is a bit more significant than all that cost-saving stuff, and that's the transmission. It shifts smoothly when I'm towing, just fine. When I'm going down the highway or going between gears, faster or slower, no problems at all. But it has a weird thing that's very well documented where if you're driving down a highway going 55 miles per hour and you come to a stoplight way in the distance and you slowly decelerate, it does a weird thing where it goes from second gear to first gear as soon as you come to a complete stop, where it does it faster than it should. And it's a bit of a bump. It almost feels like you're getting rear-ended sometimes. It doesn't do it all the time. It's an infrequent thing, and it's based on the transmission's computer. The transmission's got its own computer, fancy, you know, but it's miscalculating when it needs to downshift from second to first after going for a great distance at a faster speed. Nissan is aware of it. Apparently there's a fix coming. It's just a computer update for the transmission. We'll see when that happens, if it does really address it. It's minor. It doesn't happen all the time. I would say maybe 1 out of 10 times it does it, but it doesn't happen frequent enough to expect it. So when it does happen, it's a bit startling. It feels like something is wrong when it's just a goofy downshift. All right, that's the end of the video. These things are always longer than I anticipate. Thanks for hanging out this long as I went through this stupid list of stuff. Would I buy this truck again? Yeah, I think I would. For the price I paid for it, I'm happy with it. It's given me no major problems. The things I don't like about it are all kind of petty when you really think about it. The same truck by Toyota, like a Tundra with all these same features and functions, would have been probably about $15,000 or $20,000 more, maybe $10,000 more for an F-150. The bottom line is every truck right now is not made the same as it was 5-10 years ago. They've all got various problems. I've been happy with this one so far. For the price I paid, yeah, I'd buy it again. If it was more money than what I paid, like I said, I would have probably just got a 2021 Tundra, probably the last good year of the Tundra. This video is not over yet. One more thing I got to tell you, resale value is terrible on these. Just go ahead and look up like trade-in values of 2024 Titan, or any of the Titans for that matter. They're really, really undervalued at dealerships. I think a lot of dealers just don't want to put them on the lot because it's the last model year. But a good thing, and I should have told you this at the beginning, is the warranty that comes with them. Nissan gives you a factory warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles, whatever comes first. You get that straight from Nissan. So that is a bit of confidence boosting, because if there is something that goes wrong, at least I know I'm covered. On top of that, the dealership I bought it from has a lifetime warranty on the engine and the transmission, the drivetrain basically. So I feel pretty comfortable having it. I don't think I'll have any major problems, but if I do, at least I know I've got some warranty coverage on it. All right, that's the ending of the video. Thanks for watching it. Take care, and I'll catch you later.